What's up, YouTube? I wanted to talk really quick about something I experienced today that upset me. As I was working, I was doing deliveries. I was in Glendale, turning up Adams, and so I'm driving, about to pull into a side street and make a left turn. I noticed this girl walking to the right side of my vehicle on the sidewalk by herself. I'm thinking, okay, well, she's obviously pretty young. She looks like she's maybe between the ages of 3 and 4 years old. And I have seen situations where I do see kids who are obviously pretty young walking by themselves, or they're on a bicycle or a scooter. And then if you look, you see the parents or the guardian or babysitter, whoever is basically responsible for the child. Even if there's a little bit of distance, you do see them, maybe sometimes uncomfortably farther than they should be for safety's sake, but you see them. In this case, I did not see anybody in the proximity of the child, except there was one guy who was a little bit distant, more so than usual, and it did alarm me a little bit. So I did slow my turn, and I gave the benefit of the doubt to the situation, thinking, okay, well, the guy's obviously behind her. He's obviously got to be the father, right? But it did make me a little uncomfortable. As I'm making my left turn, I'm about to pull up. There's 3 houses I have to go before I get to the address I was looking to stop at. I look back in my rearview mirror, and this is just a few seconds after making the turn. The little girl is in the middle of the street. I'm about to go into shock. Like, holy fucking shit. Like, my gut was like, it was all over the place. This was like beep, 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 red flag. Okay, the good news is this. There was a girl that was walking towards that intersection that I was turning onto. I saw her walking. She was carrying a cell phone to her ear, and she was now in the street grabbing the little girl. I see her walk the girl over to the curb, where they're walking up on the sidewalk, and they go sit on a wall. So I say, okay, obviously something's wrong here. But I do see the woman, and she's now the guy that I thought assumed was incorrectly, I'm assuming now, was her father, the one responsible for looking after her. He walks up and starts talking to her, but I could see him shrugging his shoulders. So immediately that tells me he's not involved in this situation at all. I run up to the door, drop off the food, get back in the car, drive over to where the lady is now with the child. As I'm doing that, some other man comes up from the other direction, and same thing. It's like he's talking, looks confused, shrugging his shoulders, shaking his head, acting like he doesn't know a damn thing. I park, I get out. She sees me walk up. She asks me immediately, "Is this your child?" I'm like, oh shit. No, it's not. But I did see you with the child. I saw that you obviously weren't with the child, and now you are, and I was concerned for the child's welfare, so that's why I stopped. I came back. I wasn't going to let work get in the way of child welfare, so I decided to do whatever I needed to do, even if it was just being present. She was calling the cops. She had already started that process as I was pulling up. So she was on the phone with them, and after she got off the phone with them, I just told her, look, I'm going to stay here with you and the child until we get this thing sorted out, or until the police show up. Obviously, a lot of things could go wrong, and I don't want to leave you here. I noticed there were 2 other guys with you, and it bothers me that they took off. Like, why are they leaving? Why is the community not more involved? So, me being the type of person I am, I'm going to get involved if I feel like there's a need, potentially even a need. I didn't think it was cool that those guys left her, and I thought that was a little unmanly of them. But I wasn't going to focus too much on that, obviously. I just wanted to make sure the child was safe. And she didn't look disheveled. She didn't look like she had been out for a while or dirty or anything. Didn't look malnourished. She looked well dressed and well fed. Her hair was done, like maybe she just got out of the fence or something from her parents' house or her aunt's house or grandma's house or something like that, right? So I assume that might be the situation here. But as I was waiting with the lady who was sitting with her, I kept thinking to myself, at any moment, somebody's going to come running up and is going to embrace the child. Maybe screaming, crying, "Oh my God, I was looking for you," that kind of thing, right? And as more and more time goes by, I realize that nobody's coming. And it starts to make me think, what is going on here? Well, this little girl, she couldn't have been far from her house. Are the parents this inattentive? So as I'm running through my head, possible scenarios and explanations, eventually the cops do show up, and we have a brief discussion with them and just kind of let them know what's going on. And the lady couldn't really communicate with the little girl because she didn't speak any English. So it started to make me think maybe there was more going on here. But I think what bothered me about this situation was there have been times in the past where I have seen something that threw me off, caught me off guard, and it just bothered me, and something about it just stood out, okay, this isn't right. And then I've given the benefit of the doubt to the situation, okay, I'm just being paranoid. And maybe there was something going on that I wasn't seeing, so I go about my day and I just kind of continue on with whatever it was I was doing. But now it's got me thinking that what if there were times where I gave the benefit of the doubt to a situation that I should not have given the benefit of the doubt to? I may never know what happened. I want to believe that she will find her parents and the best situation will play out. I obviously feel comfortable walking away from that situation once the police get involved. I do trust the Glendale PD. They seem like some really cool people. And obviously they're the ones with the resources and the wherewithal to deal with this situation. I'm not. So once they started showing up, obviously I took that as my cue. Okay, now I can get back to work. And I did think about getting the officer's car to give him a call later, but I decided to just let it go and put my faith in them and their handling of it from this point on. There was one little thing I wanted to mention, and maybe this is me just looking a little deeper into a situation than I should, but I do see things in a poetic, almost artistic sense. And it was interesting that as all of this was happening, as in the little girl on the sidewalk that begins walking into the street, who's clearly been abandoned or neglected by parents or caregivers who obviously aren't paying enough attention, or who don't give a damn, or potentially even a worse situation. I'm making a left turn onto a side street to do my delivery, and there's all of these books that are thrown out into the middle of the street, and cars are driving by and they're fluttering in the breeze that the cars produce, and the pages are flipping up and down and the books are flipping over, and there's maybe 9 or 10 books and they're just laying in the street. I think that's an odd sight, and it's literally right next to where this is all going on. Again, this is just me being poetic, perhaps, right? I'm not saying this is a connection or anything, even though I do tend to think that sometimes the universe throws things at us that makes me believe that there is more to reality than meets the eye. But being poetic here, it was almost as if those books were saying that this is a moment of abandonment, of neglect. Just as with the little girl being abandoned and neglected to her own devices at the age of, 4 years old? Somebody threw all their books, looks like college books or classic books or something like that, out into the street, and they're just fluttering around in the wind, just blowing around. So I did notice that. And I may never get the answer to my question of how this could even happen. We think about all the missing and exploited children you hear about, and as a dad, I can't imagine a situation where my child would just be wandering at the age of 4, wandering the streets of Glendale or Pasadena or wherever, just walking off into the street. She could have got hit, could have got injured or killed, or anything could have happened to this little girl. Where are the parents? Where the fuck are the parents? How does that even happen? Anyhow, I just wanted to talk about this because it's weighing heavy on me, man. And it's, like I said, it's made me wonder about past situations where I give the benefit of the doubt to. And it's making me think maybe I should check more into situations that make me uncomfortable or raise alarms or flags, red flags or even yellow flags even. Maybe I should look a little more into it, especially if it's child welfare. That's just my thoughts for this video. Crazy experience. Anyways, I'm gonna put the I took a picture on the way out of there because I didn't think my girlfriend would believe me. You could see me in the car and the woman and the little girl and the police officer, the first one to respond, in the background. I'll put that as the thumbnail to this video, but yeah, this really happened. So anyways, crazy experience. A little unsettling. Cheers.